As you can see, the title of this video is on the screen. And let's jump into that and address that really, really fast. First and foremost, I ask you that you leave your anecdotal BS at the door. I also ask you that you leave your feelings at the door before you come into this room. Now, as you see, the question posed on the screen is, does racism exist? And is it holding you back as a black man / black woman? All black woman. I should have put all. Two different people. Two genders. That's it. If you was born in 1980 up until now, I could go back a little further, but I'm going to just go ahead on and give that grace period of the 70s. And I'm going to start it at 1980. If you were born in 1980 all the way down until now, you have not experienced racism. And racism is most definitely not holding you back. Have you experienced prejudice? Maybe so. I don't know. I can't tell you what goes on in your life. But have you experienced racism and is it holding you back? The answer is no. Let's get into it. You know, I'm 36. And if you're a black man like I am, or a black woman, excuse me, you have not experienced hate, malice, or anything from any race as much as you have your own race. Look at what goes on with our quote unquote celebrity legends, icon, whatever you want to call them. Look how they treat it versus how Caucasians treat their quote unquote celebrity legends or icons. Something come out up on them that's bad, what happens? They're quiet, wait to due process. If they're found guilty after due process of what they're accused of, their communities quietly cast them away. Not in a black America. Before we even get convicted by any judge, we already condemn our own people. People like Jay-Z did it, just to name a few. Now, I'm not here to talk about their cases and what they got going on because that's not my job. I don't know them personally, so I have my premonitions of it. I have what I feel, but that doesn't matter, so I'm not going to voice that in this video. In your life as a black man and a black woman, it's a reason why when you get some money, you go move around the white people. Because if you stay in your hood, we know what happens. Your house will be broken into. Your rims will come up missing. You will receive more hate in your own community than anyone else. And when you deal with white people, for the most part, you have two different kind of white people today. Well, three actually, but I'm going to just name a few of them. You have the white man, the liberal white, who panders to black people. They really care less about y'all. They hate y'all. And they look at y'all as less than. They look at y'all as special ed students, so they ponder to y'all. And you have the one who racist, that don't like black people for whatever reason. We're going to get off into why and a few reasons why. And they try their best to stay away from y'all. And then you have the white people who judge you on character, not the color of your skin. And if you're a good black person that work hard, that do what you're supposed to do, and not a criminal, not violent, not chaotic, they'll deal with you. And if you are, they won't. But no black man or black woman that was born after 1980 experienced racism, and racism isn't holding them back. And I hear some of y'all thoughts right now. Well, what about the justice system? Why is it more black men get more time, or why is it more black men in the system than white men? So let's address that first and foremost. I came up and both of my best friends was drug dealers. One of them is no longer here. One of them is still out here. One was black, one was white. They both was drug dealers. And I noticed something about both of them. And this is a question I'm about to answer for you on why is more black men in the system and why black men get more time versus their white counterparts. My white partner, he wasn't as flashy as my black partner, but he always kept a lawyer on retainer. And another thing, he had a great support system. In other words, he had a mother and a father, and they was divorced, but they supported him. And he had other family members that was financially stable, and they would support him no matter what he went through, good or bad. On the flip side, my black partner he's very, 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 he's no longer a drug dealer, but I'm saying he was, and he very, very flashy, never had a lawyer on retainer, and he don't have no support system for his family wise. You know what I'm saying? And so when you go into these situations and when you get to see, like for me, I understood very young, okay, this is why black people get more time versus white people. Number one, black people will have 30 cars, diamond chain, teeth, 3, 4 houses, thousands and hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of clothes, and yet they will have no way to show how they made the money. And they so I don't know if they I don't know if I want to call them ignorant, meaning misinformed or just stupid, but they won't have a lawyer on retainer as if this lifestyle gonna last forever. And then when they go into the prison system or the jail system, they don't have nobody to call and say, hey man, I need you to give me a lawyer. Hey man, I need this for you. Because for the most part, in our community, you're gonna get first of all, you're gonna have family members that may have the money, but they're gonna say, well, forget you. You wasn't worrying about nobody when you was out here, because that's another thing. The average black drug dealer do nothing for their parents, do nothing for, certain family members, because when they on the street, they getting so much money, they not thinking about nobody else but themselves and these women, right? And so when they get in a situation, they family feel the same way about them. Okay, well, you in there, you did what you did. Where the white family, my white partner did a lot for his family, did a lot for his mom. And even if he wouldn't have, because I've seen that too, but I'm just saying he did so much for different people that when he went in there, even though he was in there for something illegal, they still felt like they had to rally behind him and support him. Not to mention he kept his own lawyer on retainer. So when you go into these court systems, right, and you don't have a lawyer, you have a public defender, of course someone with a lawyer versus a public defender is going to get less time than somebody with a public defender who has multiple people that he have to look after, and he can't donate his time all to one person. He got to do what he can, and his main thing is getting the conviction, getting this over with as fast as possible. So that's number one why it's more black men in prison versus white men, because the average black man, some of them getting smarter now and keeping them a lawyer and retaining. But I can tell you the average drug dealer in your hometown right now might have multiple cars, hundreds of thousands of dollars in jewelry, hundreds of thousands of dollars in clothes, and I can bet you money the average one does not have a lawyer and retainer. I'm gonna show you something else he don't have: a life insurance policy, right? And a lot of that was we wasn't taught. I get it, you know what I'm saying? We wasn't taught as they were taught. Another reason why we get more time in the system versus our white counterparts is because of this. We so busy sending our children to school, trying to force them to be the next Michael Jordan, the next LeBron James, or the next Michael Vick, or rap, or all this here. Whereas all of these things it's hard for your son to come out of the ghetto and be a top rapper. That's not easy. If it was, we see all these local rappers, and we got local rappers in some cities that I've heard that's gooder than the rappers that's mainstream. It's hard because there's an influx of rappers. It's just so many of them that, it's hard. You know what I'm saying? And even though social media has made it easier for rappers to get on and get known without the The big time label is still hard because it's just so over is too much of them, right? You know how hard it is to make it on the NFL roster of 53 players? You know how hard it is to make it on the NBA roster of 15 players? That is hard. That is so hard. These other races, or we're going to just talk about our white counterpart, they're telling their children, look, go to school to be a lawyer, go to school to be a doctor, go to school to be a judge, so you can perform nepotism for your people. A lot of time when a judge give little Timmy 10 years versus Tyrone giving him 25 years, it's not really a racist thing. It's a culture thing. And that judge don't look at little Tyrone like he look at little Timmy. He look at little Timmy as his grandson, as his son. And so he's in anybody, any race or person is going to have more compassion for somebody who look like them, who have the same skin color as them. Whereas when he see little Tyrone, he don't have no compassion for him. As a matter of fact, he may have something against him. Every time he in the store with his wife and this black man with dreads passed by him smelling like weed, loud talking, or this black dude that messed with his niece or his granddaughter or his daughter and ruined her life, any of these things, he have something against young black men. Not always, but I'm saying this is the case sometimes. And so when you go in front of him in court, even though you don't fit none of the, even though you not the dude who messed over his, because I know some dudes who got with white girls and just ruined their life. You know what I'm saying? Even though you not the young man who ruined his granddaughter life, even though you not the young man who was cursing him out at the restaurant, you fit the description. And so now he gonna unload and give you the max for your time and give little Timmy the minimum. Sometimes it is a race thing, but most time it's a culture thing. Going back to what I was speaking about, how we send our children to school to be these athletes. And don't get it twisted. Having your kids play sports is a great thing, right? Teaches them a lot of life lessons: teamwork, accountability, responsibility, discipline. And if they make it to the professional level, amen. If they get a scholarship because of their talent, amen. But why aren't we sending our children to school to be more attainable thing that actually could help the community as a whole, such as judges? And that way, if we have more judges, a judge can look at little Tyrone as his grandson, as his nephew, as his son, and he may have more compassion on little Tyrone versus the white judge. Once again, this is not racial. This is culture. Doesn't mean a black judge racist because he give little Tyrone a lesser sentence. He have compassion for somebody who look like him. So if we had more judges and less LeBron wannabes, less NBA YoungBoy cutouts, that would help right then and there. If we would stop demonizing police in our community and send our children to school to be police, and we would have more black police officers to the point where we would be able to police our own neighborhoods, it would be less police murders. Why? Because a black police officer understands a black man more than a white man. When that black boy is doing is fussing and doing all those hand signs, I mean, not hand sign like gang sign, but like all those hand movement when he talking and he's loud. Let's be honest. These white cops in most cases are afraid because they don't really have no really experience dealing with black people outside of their job in most cases. And so this scares them because all they know from black people are these people are very dangerous for the most part. They kill each other in droves. They rap and brag about these are a very dangerous group of people. And with that being said, I don't know what he's about to do. All I know is I'm telling him to get against the car. And even though he's just trying to explain himself and let the cop know what's going on, he's scaring me. Next thing you know, he's dead. Versus if it was a black cop, A black cop understand a black man, his mannerisms, his over emotion. Um, he understand him more, so he would have more grace with the young black man because he was that young black man at one time, right? And so going back to the original question, does racism exist and is it holding you back as a black man or woman? Of course not. Our bad decisions is what's holding us back. And to be honest with you, if white people see you or white people at a particular gathering or a particular establishment and a few black people walk in and they begin to leave, that's not racism. That might be wisdom. That might be knowledge. Because if you turn on your nearest television station, YouTube, TikTok, everywhere black people go, they're chaotic. They fight at churches. No other racist does this. They shoot up funerals. No other racist does this. As a matter of fact, just this year, they had the homecoming at Tuskegee University. And if you black and you don't know what Tuskegee University is, shame on you. Tuskegee University is a historical black college and university. It's a very, very, very historic college, just all around. There's a lot of black history connected to Tuskegee University. And don't you know that this past year they had a shooting? Let's go to it because sometimes people think you just telling a lie. So let's go ahead on and go to it. Where did I have this set? I think it's in right here. Look at this.
Authorities in Alabama are appealing to the public for help as they try to determine who's responsible for a deadly mass shooting at Tuskegee University. At least one person was killed, more than a dozen were injured. It happened during a celebration of the school's 100th homecoming. And a warning, the video you're about to see does show the gunfire ringing out. Tonight, young people frantically telling each other to get down. Get out, get out, get out, get out! You can hear the gunfire ringing out around them. The terrifying scene unfolding on the Tuskegee University campus in Alabama overnight.
Second county request of mutual aid from us on the Belmont West side of Tuskegee campus. Unknown description of any shooters.
It was homecoming weekend at the historically black university. 12 injured by gunfire, 16 hurt in total, including students. An 18-year-old who was not a student did not survive. Late today, authorities announcing they've made an arrest in connection with the shooting.
We can't even get together at one of our historical black college universities without killing each other. So, like I said, man, racism, and I'm going to be, in my life in 36 years, everyone who ever talked about me, whoever tried to harm me, verbally or physically, everything that ever was bad that somebody else caused in my life, it always came from a black person. The few times anytime I ever had a situation with a white person, I mean, I deal with white people, but I'm saying, like, white people have always helped me. It's not one time in my life that I can honestly say. Now, it's times where I've been around white people and they were kind of like standoffish because the way I look, the way I dress, and they probably said to themselves, he's one of those type, so we just going to stay away from him. And I have no problem with that. It doesn't offend me because I understand. I'm not saying it's right. You should judge people when you get to know them, but this is a judgmental world. Everybody is every single person in this world is judgmental on some sort of level. And so when I go around even other races, even other foreigners and all this, I understand why they act sometimes the way they act toward me. And I just, keep it moving. Because I'm not here to try to impress you. I do always want to change the narrative. And I will do that by the way I act, but I'm not gonna kiss your butt or none of that. If you feel a certain type of way because of my skin color, cool. Let's make this transaction in the gas station or wherever we at, and I'm gonna keep it moving and God bless you. But you have to understand the way these people feel, man. Because even a black person can't really add that much context and justification for it. But just imagine being another race looking at this, saying to yourself, like, man, these people can't even get along with each other. They love killing each. What you think they care about? You think they're gonna have any type of you think they're gonna have any type of control on hurting us or killing us? They do it to each other like it ain't nothing. That's why, as I said in one of my earlier videos, black life has no value. I know these people. You can't get me to believe that these people, and when I say these people, white people, all these other races of people, but especially white people, since they the ones who are under the most scrutiny by black people, you can't tell me that these people sit around and laugh at us. You can't get me not to believe that. You mean to tell me they kill each other in droves on a daily basis and rap and brag about it, but when we do it, it's hell to pay? Like, these people are a complete joke. I know this is what they say. Like, people like for example, DJ Vlad and Adam 22. I know that they had their families all together sometime, and they are laughing at black people probably so much that they balling, rolling over on the floor. These people are a complete joke, complete laughing stock. And they give us all their money. They love to go to Johnny and spend money and post it. They love to go to Aviante and all these foreigners that come out here with the black man when they have conference meetings and they talking about all the money that they making, and before they even come to this country, they got the black man with the gold teeth on they chart. This is who we targeting. We don't want to live around them. We don't want to deal with them. But we do want to go in the hood and take all their money or wherever we go, because we know one thing: they love to spend their money with us. It's a big man. They get Johnny so much free publicity. I know some of these dudes who post Johnny, they'll repost or they'll share Johnny post and won't even share their own partner post. They got a business. Their own family member got a business. Racism. If you born at night, that means if you 44 or younger, ain't nobody holding you back but the behavior of your race and the bad decisions of your race. The white man ain't got nothing to do with holding you back. Anything the white man do is racist. You got some of these dudes who will go in front of the judge 14 times for the same charge and immediately, because that's another thing. We got to understand, what is the measuring tool on racism? You mean to tell me you went in front of the judge 6, 7 times and on the 8th time he threw the book at you and he racist? I don't think so, buddy. I was talking to somebody the other day, and I say, be honest. Young lady in her 30s. I was like, did you ever experience racism? Yeah, I experienced racism. I asked her, what was your experience with racism? You know what she said? She said that one day she called an Uber and the Uber left. And I say, well, how was that racist? Well, he was white. Now, she didn't add context. Was she late? Because the Uber, they have a certain amount of time to sit outside, and we know black people are always late. But let's just say he was on time. Let's just say he was on time. She was on time, and she wasn't standing outside waiting, which is what they tell you. They text you minutes before your ride arrived, be standing outside, and maybe he had a ride for more or whatever. And when he pulled up to her location, she wasn't there. Whatever the case may be, she automatically jumped to racism. And I disagreed. And so that's another thing. We have to have the measuring tool. Like I said earlier, it's time where I've went places. It's time where I've dated these women who has multiple children. And when we would go in a certain establishment, the white people would leave. Is that racism? I don't think so. Might be. I might want to call it wisdom. I might want to call it but let's just say it. You could say it's prejudice against people with all these kids, because they say, well, We know in the past, all these people, when we see these black women with all these children, they rule, they beating our kids up. So let us just be proactive and get up out of here. It's nothing racist about that. And because of the way y'all act and portrayed on all these social media platforms, the news for the last 30 years, this is what you have earned, black man. This is what you have earned, black woman. So when people react to you that way, don't jump to racism. How about you have some self-accountability and say, hey, maybe it's because how we're portrayed, and how we portrayed is how we act. Let's be honest about it. Everywhere we go, churches, funerals, you name it, black people gonna have some type of chaos, shooting, or something going on for the most part. And it's sad. And like I say, for me, I just deal with it when I get these looks and when I get, this treatment, because I understand I don't support it. It's wrong. Because you, like I say, but everybody don't have a chance to get to know you. People dealing with you on the transaction basis or whatever level that they dealing, they just trying to move around. But that's another thing. If y'all don't have if y'all have so much of a problem on it, why don't? Because y'all got black people got the money. We had a capital. It's not that. Why don't we start buying up these gas stations, hair stores, wing dinner shops, nail places in our own hood? We're not going to do that because, as I said in the video, I think that was a video I made yesterday or a couple of days ago in Message to the Black Community Volume 20. We playing a different game. We not playing a game of getting a win for a race. We playing a game of getting a win for us. We about individual wins. Forget getting a business for the community. I want to get some diamond teeth. I want to get the new nicest car, and all that's fine and dandy. You enjoy the fruits of your labor however you want to enjoy them, but stop complaining and crying about how other people treat you. Stop complaining and crying about other people and how they look at you. Stop asking for equality and get out of that equality mindset and get into the rulership mindset, because at the end of the day, waiting on equality, y'all gonna be dead just like y'all ancestors died. It's not gonna never be equality. If you ask for it, you're gonna have to take it. And you don't have to take it by blood at this time we living in. All you gotta do is spend your money with your own people. And as you and everybody has a part in this. Change the narrative in your world, how you act, how you address people, how you carry yourself in public. Because people are watching you from other races to fit their narrative. And every time I'm in public, I'm not cooning, I'm not bootlicking, but guess what? I'm changing the narrative. Whenever I go to a place and I might get some bad service by a white person or another race, you're not about to get that ghetto out of me so you can call the police and add to your narrative that you already have. We're going to do this constructive and diplomatic, and we're going to get this resolved like that. But it's probably going to be a part 2 to this, man. But I thank y'all for listening, and God bless.